What's up, everyone? Back for another beer review, and today I'll be reviewing a beer from the Maplewood Brewing Company, and they're out of Chicago, Illinois, and this is their Wild Idaho Nights. So they're calling this one a double dry hopped IPA that comes in at 7% alcohol by volume. No IBUs listed in time of review. This can is just over 2 months old, and I'm going to give a huge thanks and shout out once again to a very good friend of mine and a viewer of the channel, Kenny, for hooking me up with this one. So big thanks to him. In the description box, I'll post a link to the beer mail unboxing video I did that contains all the goodies that Kenny hooked me up with, and he hooked me up with a lot of Chicagoland potential deliciousness, and this is one of the beers. So based on the name, I thought, they're probably using Idaho 7 hops, and they are. They're using Idaho 7, Idaho 7 Cryo, and Citra, and just not a lot of information about this one. It says double dry hopped IPA, 7%. Not much going on. So first Maplewood beer, and I am super stoked to get in this one. So let's crack it open, get it in the glass, see what we got going on here. So Idaho 7 is one of those hops that I haven't had many, I don't want to say single hopped Idaho 7, but a beer or an IP where it's the focus or the showcase hop. Haven't had too many of them in my life, but from what I remember of Idaho 7 hops, I do enjoy them. So hoping this is quite delicious. So do something like that. That's a picturesque pour, if I do say so myself. That looks beautiful. On camera, it's probably going to be dulled out, but in person it has this bright pineapple color. It's sunshine in a glass. It has a really light orange and some yellow hints in there, but it's very bright and vibrant. Very murky and turbid as well. Has about a 2-finger bright white, soap sudsy, slightly creamy looking head. There's some bigger bubbles, some smaller bubbles mixed in, but that's a picturesque beer. In person, this just looks fucking phenomenal. So let's get a nose on it. Ooh. So this is just over 2 months old, and man, the aroma's still awesome. Tons of tangerine, tangelo. I seem to mention tangelo probably once or twice a month, and then I break down what tangelo is. Oh, it's a hybrid tangerine and a grapefruit. All I know is I tried it for the first time many years ago. This is, 6, 7, 8 years ago. And it was without question the juiciest citrus fruit I've ever had the pleasure of trying. And I've had it a couple times since then. It's harder to find, but you ever see a tangelo, get on it. Yeah, so tangerine, sweeter grapefruit, really juicy orange. This has a lot of juicy notes to it, and it's making my mouth water. After that, there's a little bit of an overripened peach, apricot, some kind of stone fruit, maybe a mango. Just a little bit of a vanilla. There's I think I'm getting the actual malt here, and has a vanilla tinge. Maybe there's a little bit of lactose or something in here, but I'm getting a doughy kind of sensation too. So it's making it seem slightly desserty, not crazy sweet or anything, just a little hint of it. Yeah, this is juicy. This is fruity. There doesn't seem to be a lot of bitterness. There's nothing to kind of push back on that juicy fruitiness. There's no earthiness or pininess or herbaceousness or anything like that, or any kind of real big dank character. This just has a really fruity and juicy kind of nose. It smells awesome, especially at 7%. So let's get into it. Cheers, everybody. Thanks again, Kenny. Ooh, wow. Oh, this took my taste buds on kind of a roller coaster of a ride. We'll talk about it momentarily. Let's go body and mouthfeel. 7%. It's lower side of medium. A little bit thin at 7, but I'm all right with the lower side of medium. All right with it. It's not watery. Just not as big as I thought it would be at 7%. The mouthfeel, a little bit more spritzy on the palate. Has more effervescent kind of feel to it, because the look of it and what I'm thinking is more of a New England style IPA, and it's not necessarily that with the body and mouthfeel. It has kind of an older school, maybe a West Coast kind of influence, or maybe an old school style Vermont IPA, where it's still soft and smooth, but there's a little bit more carbonation and the body's not as big. But it's fine. The taste though, so all those flavors kind of carried over. The tangelo, so we'll just say sweeter grapefruit, sweeter tangerine, a little bit of a juicy orange, juicy, sweeter citrus fruits right at the tip of the tongue. As it passes through peach and apricot, ripened peach and apricot, it's real nice and fleshy and juicy. But about 3/4 of the way through the palate, all of that awesome juiciness is kind of hit with this really nice, like slightly resinous pine kind of earthiness. Yeah, I'd say more of an earthiness and maybe a pine kind of resin. There's a resinous hop character. And then it finishes with a semi-dry, moderately bitter kind of finish. And it's really welcome because in the nose, like I said, didn't seem like there's anything that was going to stop this one from being just a juice bomb. But there is, and it's very welcome for this beer. Like I said, just over 2 months old, and this is drinking extremely well. I would have loved to see this maybe like, 2 weeks old. Because if it's drinking this great right now, like, man, 2 weeks old, this is probably bonkers. No detection of the 7%. Yeah, this is really nice. I didn't have a ton of expectations for this beer just because I've heard good things about Maplewood, but I don't know much about them. I just know that when people talk about Chicago area beers, I've heard Maplewood numerous times. Oh, I tried Maplewood. But I've never had anything from them. So this is the first beer I had from them. And this to me is like 75% a New England style IPA and 25% like a West Coast IPA or maybe like a Vermont IPA where you're getting that juicy, fruity goodness that you want from the New England style, but then there's enough bitterness and something else from like a West Coast style. So it's almost a complete marriage, but it still leans more to the New England style. Really nice. It's not mind-blowing. It's like the flavors aren't like crazy. Like I said, you're pretty much getting citrus, a little bit like a peach and apricot. It's juicy, it's nice. So not overly complex or anything, but really easy drinking at 7%. So not much more to say about this one. Wild Idaho Nights from Maplewood. I'm going to go straight 4.25 out of 5. I think that's a really fucking proper score for this one. To get into the 4 or 5 range, it would have to have more complexity. The body and mouthfeel would have to be bumped up a notch, but 4.25 out of 5 is a really good score. Price point availability, I have no idea. So Kenny, this is where hopefully you come in. I would hope, a 7% beer like this, double dry hopped in the whole 9. I would like to see it around $16 a 4-pack, but if it was 18, I wouldn't hate it, but I'd like to see about 16. And availability, I have no idea, probably in and around the Chicago area. I know we don't get Maplewood here in Western New York, but if anyone knows the availability, Kenny, anybody else, let me know. I would appreciate it. So first Maplewood beer, really good first impression because again, the expectations, I really didn't have any. I was just like, oh, Maplewood beer, double dry hopped IPA, 7%, Idaho 7, sure. And turns out that this is a really easy drinking, a very tasty 7% IPA. Not much more to say about it. And again, can't even taste the 7%, hides the alcohol extremely well. So 4.25 out of 5. Maplewood, Wild Idaho Nights. If you've had this one before, post in this comment section. Let me know. Appreciate Kenny sending me this beer and all the awesome other Chicagoland beer he has sent me recently. You will see a lot of the reviews from him in late February into March. But yeah, I'm really happy so far. So thanks again, Kenny. Thanks to everybody stopping by for another beer review here on the Beer Patrol. To the next one. Cheers.